Angel Reese, she continued her long-standing tradition last night of not selling out home games.
Did you see what just happened? Angel Reese won her first WNBA title and faced Paige Bueller, another up-and-coming player who some believe should be the league's biggest draw, rather than Caitlin Clark. With two of the most popular women's basketball players on the court, you would think there would be a packed arena and an exciting atmosphere, but there wasn't. The crowd was lackluster. Where are the fans? There is a growing disconnect between social media anticipation and in-person support, and it is beginning to show. Tickets went as low as $20, and just 41 were sold in the hour before tip-off despite all the online buzz.
Paige Beckers is coming to town. Shout out to Santa Claus. Paige Beckers is, you guys get it. And in their first matchup, they draw a whopping 9,025 people. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys? Where are the Paige Becker supporters? Where are the WNBA supporters? Where are the Reese's Pieces? Where are you guys at?
In the meantime, ESPN continues to promote the notion that Angel Reese is the league's face due to her fan base, but it's become tougher to dispute that Caitlin Clark is the true force driving the WNBA's growth in terms of seating capacity and national recognition.
Who has the most TikTok followers? Ooh. Who has the most Twitter followers? Ooh. Who has the most Instagram? Who has the most this? Who has the most that? Who has the most viewership? Who has the most attendance? Who has the biggest impact on the game? We all know the answer to that question.
The game is going to blast your M&D, so let's get started.
After all, this is the #1 most followed WNBA player on Instagram, followed by the #3 most followed WNBA player on Instagram. And last night, they were in the Wintrust Center, the Wintrust Arena, which holds a capacity of 10.
There were high hopes for Angel Reese's most recent performance. Held at Wintrust Arena, which can accommodate around 10,000 people, the game versus the Dallas Wings had all the makings of a major event. But the odd thing is that it didn't sell out.
So when you see Angel Reese and Paige Beckers locking horns for the first time in the WNBA, you would expect a sellout.
Yes, you heard correctly. Another emerging star with a sizable fan base, the Paige Beckers, was on the other side of one of the season's most anticipated games, which featured Angel Reese and her enormous internet following on her home court. However, a matchup that should have attracted spectators somehow left the arena looking oddly empty.
Was a traumatic experience, but I was also confused as to why this game was being played at Wintrust Arena. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Paige Beckers is a big star, right? According to the mainstream media.
The cameras never once panned out to show the suspicious crowd during the whole broadcast, so even with a stated 9,000 attendees, some are beginning to wonder if that number was even accurate. Keep in mind that this wasn't some enormous facility. In actuality, Wintrust Arena is among the state's smallest venues.
To the media, these are two of the biggest stars in the dump, but for some reason, this high-profile matchup was not moved to the United Center, which I believe is the largest arena in the NBA. With an event of this magnitude, you would think the WNBA would take advantage and move it to an arena that could accommodate an actual crowd. But for some reason, the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelberg, she decided to keep the game at Wintrust Arena.
Only 41 tickets were sold in the last hour before tip-off for a game involving two of the league's most well-known personalities, and fans weren't exactly scrambling to get them. That's simply embarrassing. Tickets were available for as little as $20.
Minutes before tip-off last night, I checked StubHub to see how many tickets were available. As I pulled up the gate, I was greeted by a nice message. Hey there, Angel Reese fan! I see you're interested in tickets. You better hurry. These tickets are hot, hot, hot. We have sold 41 tickets in the past hour. Get them while you can.
1,000 tickets didn't get sold for this game. The #1 most followed WNBA player? Paige Beckers, the most hyped WNBA player since last year. Very interesting how that works out.
It stands in sharp contrast to the hype machine that surrounds players like Ree and Buickers. Sure, they have sizable fan bases, with Ree leading the WNBA in followership and Buickers not far behind. But the uncomfortable truth is that their TikTok views and Instagram likes don't seem to be translating into actual seats and butts. A purported sellout didn't happen, and when patrons in the arena begin chatting about how sparse the crowd is, you know something is amiss.
Reebok, shout out to Reebok. They go all out for your girl. Reebok already, we're going to make this Angel Reese's signature logo. They already have a couple PEs ready to go. They have her clothing line. Reebok's behind your girl. Reebok's pushing your girl out there. But how come it's not translating into attendance?
The hype and reality are obviously not the same, Angel. If Reese is such a big draw, why didn't fans show up? The arena wasn't full, and the broadcast felt low budget for a supposed marquee matchup. It lacked the energy you'd expect. Reese's social media numbers are huge, and the WNBA relies on that plus deals like her Reebok partnership as proof of growth.
Now, as you can see right, these are the areas where tickets were still available. 30 minutes before the game, damn near the entire arena was up for sale. For less than $20, you could see these two legends in their own minds compete for the first time in the WNBA dunk.
The WNBA may wish to highlight Reese's popularity, but let's face it, Clark is the one taking center stage in the national spotlight. Caitlin Clark has been directly compared to Ree in these discussions, and whether you like it or not, her absence is felt everywhere. Games involving teams without Clark simply aren't drawing the same numbers on TV or in ticket sales.
Doesn't always equate to ratings. Social media followers don't equate to attendance ratings. The Chicago Bravado, they have had 2 home games this year. 2 home games against what the media would call high-profile teams, the New York Equality and the Dallas Wankers. And neither game was a sellout. Matter of fact, both games had the exact same attendance number, 9,025. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that 2 back-to-back games have the exact same attendance number?
Let's be blunt and state unequivocally that there is a problem with the way ticket sales are being reported. Perhaps they are only inflating figures to stroke Angel Reese's pride. Caitlin, in addition to being a blow to basketball fans, Clark's injury is turning out to be a significant issue for the entire WNBA. Not only are Angel Reese and Paige Buer dealing with empty arenas, but ticket sales are declining and games are losing the spark that Clark always brings to the court. The league as a whole feels different without Clark's enthusiasm creating the buzz, and her absence is forcing the WNBA to face the harsh reality that they have become far too dependent on one player to attract spectators.
The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game. I saw some people actually trying to spin this as a positive, and I was like, they're like 235,000 viewers. How is that a positive?
Simply, when Caitlin Clark is playing, it seems like every second counts. For instance, the broadcast of the Fever versus Mystics matchup attracted an incredible 581,000 viewers, but without her, the same matchup only attracted 357,000 viewers. This is a huge drop, and it's hard to ignore even casual fans who might not watch the league frequently. Clark is one of the few players who can make a game feel like an event. Now compare that to the Liberty vs. Fever game, which had one of the highest ratings the league has seen in years, when Clark was on the court, and the broadcast peaked at 3.24 million viewers.
Now, we know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a million viewer game.
In contrast to games without her, like Sun vs. Lynx or Storm vs. Mercury, which struggle to draw in average numbers like Sun vs. Lynx managed 431,000 and Storm vs. Mercury came in at 344,000. Those numbers might still be respectable for smaller markets, but when the league is trying to grow, they fall short of what's needed to build momentum. That's not just good. It's game-changing for the WNBA. It demonstrates what's possible when you have a player who captivates fans across demographics and
Back on and play was happening. In fact, they showed back up, a play happened and there was a foul. And we showed back up as they were like readjusting themselves from a foul happening. So I don't know how much we actually missed, but you cannot have that if this league hopes to grow. You can't have productions coming back late to these games. Amazon Prime.
Here's the deal. Not only is Clark a fantastic player, but she also attracts attention. She is the type of athlete that makes people speak, even those who don't often follow the WNBA, and her games bring in more than just die-hard basketball fans. Recall how the NBA had Michael Jordan. Magic Johnson. The issue is that when Clark isn't on the court, no one else brings the same energy. Even her own team finds it difficult to draw attention, and the Fever games feel flat without her presence. It's not just about who's in the stands, it's about the vibe. There's less excitement, less chatter, and less reason for the average fan to purchase a ticket or even turn on their TV. This isn't just conjecture. The numbers support it. Ticket sales have been erratic, and the league's viewership declines whenever Clark isn't participating.
In my opinion, the WNBA still has a major problem with the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw. In my opinion, these ratings are pathetic, and the leagues to change the rules to make the game more enjoyable.
What happens now is the difficult question. The league cannot afford to wait for Clark to recover and hope that everything works itself out. The bigger problem is that they have centered so much of their momentum around one player, and if the Fever or the league as a whole falters without her, it will be the casual fans who go away first. Hardcore fans will remain, of course, but it is the casual viewers who generate the large spikes in viewership and propel the league into the public eye.
They got a problem, and if this team plays like it played last night, the WNBA's got a serious problem. Okay? Because let's say you were still keeping some casual viewers, you will lose them if they believe this team is not good.
The WNBA needs Clark's star power as much as her talent, because without it, everything stalls. Ticket sales slow down, viewership drops, and even excitement surrounding headliners like Angel Reese fizzles out. Without Clark as a comparison point, the league must figure out how to keep fans interested in all of their games, not just the ones with their biggest star.
And a lot of people were like, well, Caitlin Clark's not growing the game if people won't tune in with her. Look, people tuned out when Jordan went to baseball. They tuned out of the NBA when Jordan went to baseball. And then when Jordan retired, they tuned back out again until COVID.
The WNBA's marketing of the experience is the true problem, not merely who plays. Even with celebrities like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the league continues to run into the same problem. Fans aren't attending in person or tuning in, as everyone had hoped. A large portion of this is due to the way the games are presented. For example, during Reese's highly anticipated game against the Dallas Wings, fans received a product that felt thrown together rather than a polished, must-see broadcast, and viewers on networks like ION have complained about late returns from commercial breaks. This kind of inconsistency makes it difficult for casual fans to take the league seriously. So far, star power alone hasn't solved the WNBA's attendance problems.
If these leagues are going to succeed, it's not the hardcore fan. They got to have the casual viewer. There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer.
Not only did Clark's collapse harm her team, but it also highlighted how heavily the league relies on a small number of iconic players. The league's dependence on star power and the absence of a more comprehensive engagement plan were made clear by Clark's injury. The WNBA needs to reconsider its strategy, make better marketing investments, and figure out how to keep fans interested even when the biggest stars aren't playing. If you believe the WNBA can develop a loyal following beyond a single star, leave a comment below and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. Considering the empty stands with $20 tickets, do you think the WNBA can grow past the hype?